Well, welcome back to my channel to those who have been a member of or subscribed to my channel. Those who are new here, welcome. My name is Stephen the Jupiterian, and today I will be going to be covering Mars moving into the sign of Taurus, which will be on June 8th. Actually, we see here in this on this time clock the planets. Here's Mars over here, and it's at 29 degrees 49 minutes of Aries at the last degree. So we're going to move this a few hours. At about 9:35. So let's move this minutes. 9:35 or so, when we see Mars moving into at 9:34. Mars moves into the sign of Taurus, where, well, it's not happy there. It's in detriment, and so is Jupiter in the sign of Gemini is also in a sign of detriment, because it opposes a sign that it rules, Sagittarius, and Mars opposes a sign that it rules, Scorpio, and it's not seen by Aries at all. So we say that Mars in Taurus is in detriment, or some astrologers may call it exile. Mars is in exile in the sign of Taurus, but some with Mars in Taurus, it could be bullish, could be very stubborn. Mars is in Taurus is very stubborn. Mars in general is stubborn anyway. In Taurus, it's very fixed in its ways. So yeah, not a lot of change as will occur when Mars is in Taurus. A lot of conflict, even though Mars likes to battle it out, and it'll be stubborn in the sign of Taurus. And let's see, Venus also squares Saturn on the 8th, making this very difficult. Also, it's going to be a very difficult day on the 8th or 9th, when actually on the East Coast, it'll be at midnight, at 12:34 midnight, at 12:34 in the morning on the 9th on the East Coast. Because you add 3 hours to 9 o'clock, it'll be 12:34, where Mars moves into Taurus. So yeah, with this square, Venus Saturn square, which is still occurring, even though it's at 20 degrees, and Saturn is at 19 degrees. That's still a square. But the moon in Taurus, the moon in Cancer is only going to be felt by a trine to Saturn and Neptune for only a few hours until the next day when the moon moves into Leo. It'll oppose Pluto. It'll be intense emotional emotions may be so yeah, emotions may be very it's actually a good time. Well, let's see. The moon opposite Pluto. Someone or something challenging you is challenging you at the moment. Do you feel frustrated, angry, or bitter about something? Well, the time has come to embrace the truth of this situation. Emotional truth usually underlies an event or activity. Let go of the need to control and see what insights arise. Tension will subside before taking action. Well, wait for tension to subside before taking any action, because they will feel tension in this area of, yeah. And let's see. I'm going to share my screen again. And we're going to move on to the next day. On the 9th, we just have the moon moving into Leo. And the sun is making a square to Saturn. Where, yeah. The sun will square Saturn and then the moon will move into Leo. So ego and possibly conflicts or some struggle with your father, with restrictions, and possibly moving on to the 10th. On the 10th, we just have the moon in Leo. Making a trine to the north node. So feelings, some feeling of destined feelings may arise. I'm sorry. Someone's revving their engine outside. If you hear that, I'm sorry. So, and Venus is still under the beams of the sun. So she's not going to be seen for a while until July 11th, when the sun is in Cancer and Venus is in, yeah, I think Cancer too. But you'll be able to see it. I will show you that when we get there, but we're on June 10th. And the sun is still square Saturn on the 11th. Venus will sextile I don't have Chiron here. Let's see. Let's move Chiron into the picture. Hold on. Let's display Chiron. There we go. I think I'll put Juno in there and Pallas and Vesta, also Ceres in there. So yeah, actually, so we have a sextile from Venus to Chiron occurring. So maybe a sexual healing or desires will be need some effort to be taking into account here to heal an old wound with dealing with love and relationships. Venus is a planet of relationships anyway, and Chiron can bring some healing, also some possibly a well, if you're Capricorn rising anyway, it's Chiron is in your 4th house, so it could come from a family member, your father, bringing you healing, to your 6th house of an illness, maybe, or co-worker that you desire to work with who may feel like a family member or who you may feel at home with. There might be some healing going on with that if you're a Capricorn rising. But if you're Aquarius, this will be moving into your 5th house, right? No, the 4th. No. Your 5th house will be Gemini, Aquarius, yes. Where your children, some creative project you're working on, maybe conceiving of an idea that you always wanted to do with all these planets in Gemini, bringing healing to your 3rd house of siblings and aunts, cousins, uncles are your neighborhood or your neighbors. Pluto is in your 1st house, Aquarius, yes. So intends, things are changing in you, Aquarius. Out with the old, and this will bring in something new, like a death of something that's no longer working for you with Pluto in your first house, and a rebirth of something new that you, a new you, maybe you'll change your appearance in some way, or your old way of doing things, your old outdated routines that used to do are no longer serving you anymore. So you let them go to bring about new things to you. Okay, well then let's go on to the 12th, where we have Mercury, yes, is now square to Saturn. Or let's see. Well, Mercury was square to almost. It's almost. It's at 18 degrees on the 11th, on the 12th. Early on the 12th, or maybe in the afternoon. Gemini, Mercury will square Saturn. It's still square just Saturn at the moment. So maybe you're maybe be feeling restrained in speech or something you want to say, or how you're understanding something may be restricted at the moment, or may hold back. You may it may even put a filter on your the damper on conflict, bringing conflict to maybe say something that hurts someone's feelings, because Saturn is in Pisces, an emotional, spiritual sign, where, and Mercury just may say something that's out of, that they just blurt out something that will hurt somebody. So yeah, actually it's a good time to think before you speak, so as to not hurt anybody or burn a bridge that you've created with your communications at this time, with Mercury square Saturn on the 12th. On the 13th, though, we have the Sun making a sextile to Chiron. Let's see. Actually, it's we have a sextile on the 12th to later at night on the 12th, but the 13th on the East Coast, the Sun will trine, well, no, I'm sorry, the Sun will sextile Chiron, bringing some more good things, actually. And then Mercury also is sextile Chiron on the 13th. Yeah. Well, earlier in the day. Excuse me. On the 13th, Mercury and Chiron make a sextile. So you can possibly the things that you said the past day, you may feel regret or for saying, and may want to backtrack things that were said take the effort to heal something that you may have been been taken out of context sometime. Also on the 13th, and then on the 14th, we have the sun. It will be conjunct, well, on the 14th or the 15th, well, depending on where you are. The sun, well, Mercury is at 25. And then if we move this in hours, is the sun going to move closer to Venus, or is Venus moving faster? Okay, Venus is moving faster. So the 15th at let's see. The sun is at 24, Mercury is at 25. Let's see. This, okay, well, on the 14th then. On the 14th, Mercury on the East Coast, on the 14th, Mercury and the sun and Mercury are conjunct again in Gemini. At 1:34 p.m. So this combust sun, Venus cazimi is happening again when the moon will be moving into Libra. So a lot of earth, well, no, I'm sorry, air information, communication, a lot of air is in play here. Still, so yeah, when with the moon in Libra for the next day, the 15th, and let's see, the 16th, oops, the 15th, and then the 16th, yeah. And then the 17th, the moon moves into Cancer, Scorpio. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the 15th, where Venus will square Lilith. Is Lilith, did I put Lilith on here? No. Let's see. Lilith is there. Okay, I'm going to put Lilith there because actually I looked this up, and Lilith, and Venus will square Lilith. Where is she? Lilith and yes, Lilith is in Virgo. Mercury and Venus at 28, Lilith at 26. Mercury will square Lilith also. Let's go back an hour. And where the Venus will be at 26 degrees. And Lilith at 26. On the 15th. Okay. Well, later in the on the morning of the 15th, Lilith is in Virgo. Where the heck is Virgo? Okay, here's Virgo at 26, and this is at 27. Well, so yeah, actually, this will be very close on the 15th. Very early in the morning. When Venus is at 26 degrees on the or late in the morning of Friday morning. Great. Okay, well, this is making a liar out of me because I took this out of a book, and before I looked at but also on the 15th, Venus will square Lilith too. But it'll start on the 14th, where Venus is at 26 degrees and Lilith is at 27 degrees of, yeah. Venus will also square Neptune, begin to square Neptune within 3 degrees of orb. Yeah. Where, yes, so okay. Well, that's a weak square from, well, what about Venus? Okay. Venus square Neptune is, yeah. Okay, Venus square Neptune, yes. Could be quite impressionable now. So try to avoid life-changing decisions. Instead, you could watch an inspirational film or visit an art gallery. Other people may be confusing you at the moment. Try to see the lighter side of things and avoid agreeing to anything that is irreparable. If you are feeling somewhat disillusioned with a woman or with life itself, relax and have faith that the clouds will lift soon and all will be clear. It is your chance to keep an open heart and mind and trust that changes can bring more beauty and pleasure into your life. It is also possible that you have a positive experience through your relationship with a significant woman. Relaxing with friends can be inspirational now. You may need to be cautious when it comes to spending money. It is time to sit back, dream, and find activities that are healing, creative, and free. Now is your chance to keep an open heart and mind and trust that changes can bring more beauty and pleasure into your life. So yeah, actually don't let the disillusionment of Neptune get in the way of all that I had just said. And with that, that is the week I have from June 8th to June 15th. And until next time, have a good one. Bye.